Hi and welcome to this short video on the part 1. The part 1 on the ADI qualifying process is theory. So learning your theory, learning what driving is all about and highway code and things like that, and things like first aid and what to do in the case of an accident, and teaching techniques and how to teach and things like that. So it's a really useful part. It's really important that when you do the theory that you use a site like the one you can see in front of me at the moment, and I'll show you how to access that for free in a moment. The other thing is to get some books. You need the highway code, you need the essential skills. They're the main books you will need. There are others on the market, but they're the two that you really do need at a very minimum. And I will review in other books in the future. So certainly you need those, and it's a good idea that when you're doing these questions, if you get something wrong or you guess it, that you then look it up in the book and then have another go. Don't just learn by rote, because you're going to need to know what the answers are, and more importantly why the answers are what they are when you come to doing your part 2 and part 3. So really deeply understanding the answer rather than just knowing what it is, and if it's stopping distances or things like that, then learning how to judge those stopping distances, learning how to actually convey them to someone else, and methods of doing that. So for example, stopping distances I think are better to do in car lengths, because you can visualize car lengths more than people can visualize 100 meters. They can visualize 6 car lengths, a little bit easier anyway. But think about that, think about why they're asking, what they're asking, and digging a bit deeper rather than just going through the motions, as it were. Okay, so if you click on the link that's above my head now, hopefully if this technology works, you'll see the page that I've got up now. So fill in your details, sign up for a free account, blah blah blah, and then you click on that link there and it creates your own account. There we go. So this is a really important bit. The bit that pops up now, select your test type. You must do ADI here. Okay, if you do car dirt test, you're not going to be studying the right stuff. They're not the same questions, they're not laid out in the same way, and they're certainly not as in depth. So it's ADI that you want, and that's really crucial, and it's good that pops up straight away now, where it didn't used to, and there was a bit of an issue with that. So we've got multiple choice, hazard perception and highway code. I would just have a look at them. So let's have a look at multiple choice. So you've got practice topics and mock tests. I would say that it's best to do practice topics to begin with, and you'll find the 5 different bands coming up. Okay, so they're the 5 bands, and then unofficial extra study, which is obviously worth doing. These are basically the questions you will be asked. They're not worded exactly the same, but certainly the content is the same. The answers are the same, but the wording, they're not allowed to do exact wording now. So sometimes the questions don't make quite as much sense, because by changing a word you can change the meaning of it quite a lot. So just be aware of that really, and work your way through. As you can see here, you've got band 1 road procedures, band 2 traffic signs and signals, car control, pedestrians, mechanical knowledge, driving test, disability law. There's the bits you might struggle on because you won't have any previous knowledge of that possibly. Publications, instructional techniques, again you may not have knowledge of that as well. So they're the things that people tend to struggle on. Road procedures, traffic signs and things, people bring that up from before. So I would practice those first before you start doing multiple choice questions. The problem with multiple choice, with doing mock tests, is that when you do another one, it brings up the ones you got wrong before, and you're just learning by rote that way rather than actually learning it. So let's just go back. Then you've got multiple choice again, and let's look at mock tests, and then you've got options of doing. This test is 100 questions and must be completed in 90 minutes. Take your time, don't rush it, and if you don't get all the way through, it's not the end of the world. And once you've done it, it will tell you what you've got wrong, what you've got right, and will give you some guidance notes as well. But have a play with it. Got hazard perception. This is the bit that people struggle with. So if you click on the link that's above my head now, you'll see that there's a link there to some videos I've made on doing the hazard perception, how to click the hazard perception. So that's certainly worth doing, and I would certainly start with the practice ones, because with the practice ones you can let's see how long this takes, but basically with the practice ones you can revisit them after the event. So this is a tutorial that will tell you what you need to be doing, and then the practice clips are just coming up now, or not, as the case may be. Okay, probably haven't got the codecs on my computer because I've got an Apple Mac, and it may be that the codecs isn't there. So the clip should come up at this point, and then you're going to be clicking. With the practice ones, you can replay it, and it will tell you where you should have clicked. So that's a really good way of getting to know how it works. I was going to say how the game's played there, but how it works and what you're clicking. As an experienced driver, you're likely to click too early. So again, have a look at the video that I mentioned just now, and that will give you some guidance on how to click. And when I can get to work on here, I'll make another one with actually showing you what I'm doing. Okay, so that's about it really. The only thing you will need to do is you will need to contact me to to give you full access, because unfortunately the system doesn't give you full access automatically. So if you email me on blaine@driving-instructor.tv, I will give you full access. What we do with the full access, because it's limited, we have a limited number of licenses, if you like, that if you don't use it within 2 months, we will take you off the full access. But all you need to do is email me again, and I will give you full access straight away again. So don't worry if you come off full access, if you have a little break from it. Just email me and I'll put you back on. If I can be any help, please use the same email address, and the best of luck with it. Thank you.